Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
And twins.
And twins.
We're doing twins.
Is it self-explanatory? Do we not need to go into what the theme is about?
Yeah, because it's the Pisces times, right?
Gemini,
that's what I meant. Gemini is twin.
Fish.
Yeah.
It's Pisces time. Yeah. We're going to do fish movies for Pisces month.
So, we're doing twin movies. Last week we did The Barbarians, which is a camp masterpiece. And now this week we did another kind of bizarro camp movie, Basket Case. Frank Henenlotter's, what he calls it, a node to 42nd Street.
Boy, is it.
Yeah. I love this movie. I can't wait to talk about it.
To grime.
I'm surprised we haven't covered this before.
I am too, but I'd never seen it before.
Either.
And I really enjoyed the shit out of it. Really liked it. I will watch this again.
My dad loved this movie. He thought it was hilarious. When I was a kid, I thought it was terrifying.
It is a pretty terrifying movie.
Yeah.
In its way, it for sure is. It's very off-putting.
And then Kelley's going to review a movie called Cadaver for straight-to-video Russian roulette.
I am. A Netflix horror movie. Can you predict how this turns out, listeners?
I feel like I know, but do I?
Do you?
I don't know.
If you're a patron, patreon.com/NOTLP, you have access to Origins and Topicana, which are our two ongoing regular bonus podcasts.
The Discord?
The Discord server, which is fantastic. The Music League that you guys are doing looks like fun.
Let me tell you, I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to brag in the Music League. And for those patrons who are participating, I'm sorry that I have to brag. And maybe I've been on the leaderboard, the top 3 now, 2 weeks.
Damn.
Not in a row. I've been in like the top 7 of 21, I think. No, I don't think I've been any lower than that. Alise is doing very well, too.
Damn.
So how does a Music League work?
So every week, and you have to have Spotify, but you can do this free Spotify. You can use that as well. And you join up, and then there are a bunch. Every week, there's a different theme. Like the first one was, if you started your own country, what would the anthem be? And then you pick anything that's on Spotify that you feel like represents that. And, you could either play to the crowd, you could play, I like to use strategy because I see my music taste as competitive. And so then everybody goes and posts, they share a song to this thing and it makes a Spotify playlist. Then everybody goes and listens to the playlist. And I want you all to take it seriously. You got to listen to the whole fucking playlist, every song. Not every song all the way through necessarily, but you should try. It's very fun. We make a night out of it. And then, and like song choice is very important. So, and then after.
Not for me, dog. Not for me. Just a no for me.
After the playlist is made, then it's open to voting. And then you get 20 votes and you can assign up to 5 to any song. And the song that gets the most votes, that's how they're ranked.
I would say Eurovision.
It's exactly like Eurovision.
It's just scored and ranked in the same way that Eurovision is.
Yes, but you can dole out points, and it's very strategic.
Right.
If you can, sink some people if you wanted to by giving them no points, and help other countries rise up by an alliance.
Oh my God, it is just like your mission then, Kelley.
Do people start alliances, Kelley?
No, I don't. I think everyone is out for themselves, as far as I know, because we're all just trying to help each other discover, new music.
You guys are all floaters.
I have found a number of great songs that I didn't know that people have posted that I've ended up adding to other play. That's how I know oftentimes what's going to get the most votes for me is if I have added to one of my regular rotation playlists, it definitely is probably going to win my most votes.
I have too much anxiety to do this because I feel they're judging me.
Oh yeah, I feel inadequate.
Well, I feel that too, but I'm being judged very favorably
as
I expect it to be.
Music taste, even more so than movie taste, I think it's more personal.
Yeah.
So I would take it at a front to me if I wasn't near the top of the leaderboard at all times.
So that's a no from Andy. He's a spiral. He's like, if I do this, I'm gonna be committing suicide.
I know I overthink fun.
Yes, he does.
I tell you what, though, I would be willing to do an NOTLP music league after this for sure.
If it was all, do you put your names next to the song?
Well, your Spotify, I don't know if you can. You might be able to change whatever your name is, but your Spotify username, I think, is what shows up. But mine is Kelley NOTLP.
Okay.
So everybody,
if all the choices were anonymous, you don't know who picked what, I would be more willing to do it because.
Well, I don't think you do know who put it out there till after you vote.
Okay.
So there you go, Andy.
So they're not basing their vote on the person, but on the song.
Okay.
So you could do this then.
Yeah. And
it wouldn't be a judgment on your
character. Is it
character.
all going to be Puddle of Mud songs?
Oh my God.
It'll be covers by Disturbed.
Yeah. Okay.
I will have two accounts, like one where I, a strategic account where I pick things where I think people would vote for, and my real account where it's just my actual choices.
One would be Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie.
And one would be Andy.
So glad Andy uses his brain for mostly good.
I've seen
there's some darkness in there.
I've seen too much reality TV.
Yeah.
I know how to game the system.
Oh my God.
I'm real curious to see who else has like their brain works like mine does. Like I think that would be fulfilling to know.
It is. It's fun.
Somebody picks something, you're like, oh, that's an obscure song that I didn't realize a lot of people knew, and you had that in common with that person.
I think you'd enjoy it, especially if you get music people like who are like real into like finding different new music and stuff. It's been real fun for that.
Well, there's a problem for me. I'm very mainstream. I don't know these
too.
obscure bands that you guys have.
You still can be. I mean, somebody posted "Criminal" the other day on one of them. Fiona Apple's been posted. I mean, they're definitely Bob Dylan's makes it on there.
No, I'm not. I love all my music choices, and I'm not ashamed of anything. But it's like back you go to the record store, like, oh, you're a poser by not knowing all this stuff.
Oh my God, Andy.
Yeah.
You have just.
Not our community. Nobody in our community would ever act that way.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm part of me is still in high school.
Yeah. Your brain.
I'm not gonna like pretend to know a band just because I'm trying to go with the flow.
Like Ogre Pickle?
Yeah. Or fart the band.
Or fart, yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend I know Fart the band.
They've had so many ups and downs.
The Monkeys, but spelled correctly.
Any hoosies.
The Cruddy Beatles.
Ape Tit.
So, what else have we been up to? What are we going to talk about? It's so I don't leave the house, so.
Well, that was like we went to our friend Fozzie's birthday party, me and Kelly and Alise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the conversation, that was the icebreaker for a lot of conversations. Like, so how are you dealing with that cicadas?
That's why I didn't go.
It's like, which high school did the cicadas go to?
So sincere.
Did the cicadas like Skyline or Gold Star better?
We're so Cincinnatian.
Oh, twist. They prefer Bryce Hill chili.
Whoa.
Dixie chili's pretty good.
Not even Camp Washington?
I'm going to go with Blue Ash.
I didn't say the cicadas made the right decision.
Yeah.
Blue Ash chili. A lot of great things there.
Hey, Guy
I made
Fieri
some
has
killer
been there.
tacos, man.
Is that
Our Walmart carries carne picada,
Yes.
like that super chunked up fatty meat chunks. You know what I'm talking
The
about.
fatty
Fatty.
chunky meats. Ugh.
I sauteed that shit up with some peppers and onions. Oof.
How'd you get the meat through the kitchen?
Sounds good.
How'd you get the meat through the kitchen door?
Because it was a fatty 2x4. And I couldn't. So I had to cook it outside.
Can't believe you bullied that meat.
Yeah.
Freddie, you ever do chuck eye steaks?
Chuck eye.
Do you ever do chuck eye steaks though?
I haven't heard the expression. Like, is that like eye of round or?
That's what they're called, at least at Meyer, and they are a really great little surprise cut. It's like, I think it's like ribeye, but a little slightly different part of it, but it's like really well marbled. Oh, it's so good, dude.
I've been doing the cheap meats lately.
Yeah, well, this is a cheap cut. Like that's the thing about it.
Like
but it's really good.
Meats.
It's thick and really marbled.
Yeah.
And I'm just really look for chuck eye.
I'll do it. I made the best brisket.
I was gonna be driving down the street. Oh my god,
That's good brisket.
That brisket, man, I'm ready to make another one.
It was good.
That shit was out of this world.
I really liked it. It was really, really good.
That's all I want to eat now. Is that okay?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's okay by me. I brisket. We eat
My
a lot of
doctor
brisket.
supports it?
I don't think that's a good idea, but you're already on gout medication, so I
Yeah,
guess
that's
it
true.
can't.
I've got new seasonings for meats.
I think it's a great idea.
I got so much stuff to do with meat.
Cayenne pepper.
You're just gonna have a meat podcast, aren't you?
Yeah, I could.
We can have a
We're
meat.
gonna call it Meat Cute.
Yeah.
No.
Meat up.
We have a meat league. Everybody,
Meat Cute meetup.
Oh, you want to do a meat league where somebody puts a piece of meat in the mail
Yes.
and we all judge it?
Yeah, you cut a steak up into however many people there are. You send them a little sliver of it. Try to send it first class at least, so it gets there within four.
Somebody's like,
days.
you know what? You guys could just call that the Justice League because it's just going to be you.
Oh,
So the other day, Freddie and I
that one hurt.
Yeah.
sat down and watched Bo Burnham's Inside. And has anybody seen this?
Colin and Cole enjoyed it. I have not ever really been much of a fan of Bo Burnham.
Me either.
It's the remake of that.
I know his stuff isn't exactly stand up, but that.
I was never a huge fan either. This
It blew me away.
blew my mind. Almost made me cry a few times. It was something.
So he remade that French movie.
Yeah. No. Andy.
Oh, I get it.
Jesus.
Took me a minute. They tried to steal Bo Burnham's baby. It was originally called Triple B.
Well, Freddie was like saying he has a crush on Bo Burnham now.
Yeah.
You're like, the Bo Burnham you knew is not the Bo Burnham you see.
He is a black hole of charisma.
What?
When you watch this, he will draw you in. Oh. And crush you into juices and then dust and then a diamond and pop you on the other side.
It really like it touched me.
He's really like. Do you guys ever see 8th Grade?
Yeah.
I haven't. I know you guys
really
have.
good.
It's one of the best coming of age movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think even more so. Like I think females would. I hate
Females.
females. I think women would like even relate more
Right.
to it.
Andy talks like a cop now.
Females.
I hate when people say like, we refer to women as females.
Me too.
I'm sorry I said that.
There's certain things that sound dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Certain words. That's
Dudes
one
that
of them.
say females have definitely hit a female.
They see them as an other.
Yes. I don't know. I just wanted to say that if anybody's watched it and felt the same way or is
Well,
looking
that
for
is
something.
high praise. I may watch it now.
Yeah.
Based on.
I laughed my ass off too.
It's got so much depth to it, man. It's really, really good. It's a masterpiece. 10 out of 10.
I saw a picture of
Would
him.
see again.
He's beardy and hairy.
I've been saying this to Freddie for a while now. You slap some facial hair on a weird face, and then you have a good face.
And I feel like she's talking about me.
You have had facial hair forever.
I
So
didn't
your
when
face has been okay forever.
when we met, I didn't have facial hair.
Right, you didn't have facial hair till
When we
been together a
met,
while.
I had a flat top military haircut
you look
because of the play.
ridiculous. But then also, I didn't know until Freddy started growing his hair during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That I was into dudes with long curly hair.
I'm a trendsetter, and
hair.
Amy is attracted to whatever I am. I could
Yes.
become. I'm gonna become like a human blob of just folds and smells.
That
And
would-
Amy's gonna be like, now I'm into dudes with folds and smells.
Isn't that weird?
Well, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we know your kink now, Amy.
It's complete codependency.
It's Freddy.
Yeah. I find it very sweet and adorable.
I
and
don't want to
love
yuck
it
your
so
yum.
much.
It's an ideal situation.
I mean, it's what you want. It's what you want, I think. Is anybody a psychiatrist listening?
So there's
Yeah.
nothing that Freddy could do that would make you turned off.
Well, I
or
got like
put
Yes.
off.
the Hitler haircut and
There
a
was
little
that-
mustache.
That time he just shit himself standing in the hallway.
When I was naked after my flu shot, not my flu shot,
Your
my COVID shot. My
Not a
COVID
turn
shot.
on.
It made me dump out.
That wasn't a turn on to you.
No, but I love him, and I wanted to help him through it, and
Yeah.
I'm still attracted to him after it.
So it didn't
So there you go.
It didn't make you reconsider things like maybe I am a shit play.
No.
Okay.
Now she likes guys that are sitting
No,
on the floor.
It probably reaffirmed to her that she wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, good. I still am not into that.
I know myself better now. It's like in Christmas Carol.
Come know me better, man.
Yeah. it's the ghost of Christmas Present, and he opens his robes and he's shitting himself.
It's the ghost of stomach flu's past.
And Amy's like, nope, not going to change. I'm still going to be a Scrooge.
Oh, why is there an empty chair at Cratchit's table? Well, you gave that kid diarrhea. He's in the John. He's on there sweating and saying, God bless it.
I want to make this. I kind of want to make a Christmas Carol diarrhea skit with you guys now. I mean, I know we just kind of did it, but I want to refine it.
What if it really was from a bad potato? Like
Yeah,
he really did
it's
just have
a
diarrhea.
blob of mustard and a bad potato. It would be.
And then we could have a bad potato monster as part of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This could be the next weird science.
Turns out, I guess we are raunchy.
A shit Miss Carol.
On Origins, it's a flashback to Origins because somebody wrote in.
We got a voicemail. We just did the intro to the latest Origins episode, and somebody left a voicemail that they were like surprised how raunchy our show was.
Someone who's probably not a patron.
A hot Christmas Carl.
Is that raunchy? This
A hot Carl.
is it shitty Christmas
Christmas.
Carol that we're doing?
Lifetime movie. Hot Carl for Christmas.
Oh, can't wait!
fantastic.
Can't wait to see that that movie poster.
Yeah.
I would love it.
They're in their like Christmas regalia, just covered in shit.
He's a dirty Sanchez. She's an uptown girl.
She's too focused on work.
Yeah.
And
She learns to love it in the end, though.
Yeah. 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 Christmas, y'all.
So
5 months to Christmas.
Is he a father figure to those orphan shits?
it is June 12th, 13th.
6 months to Christmas.
So anyway,
30 days of Christmas in July.
stuck in the house trying to keep myself alive and not feel like I'm insane after I just spent 15 months trying to get through this goddamn pandemic, and now I can go outside and the little motherfuckers are flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's cruel
I understand this.
because this was a beautiful fucking weekend, and all I get to do
Agreed.
is
Yeah.
stand at the fucking
was
kitchen window and
it's ve-
stare.
It was a good weekend to stay in, actually, because it was really hot this weekend.
It's real muggy out there. It's close.
But this is how I felt last weekend, and actually several days this week where I would go, oh, what a beautiful breeze, as I would let the dog out and just stand at the back door with it tightly held shut. I would feel the breeze and just I wish I bear them no ill will. I understand the importance of cicadas.
Exactly. I want them to thrive.
I want them to be happy. I want them
I do. I want them to do their thing and help our environment and their ecosystems. I want all of that for them, but I also want them to be done with it now.
Yeah.
I just need it to be done. I need you guys to be done with this now.
This poor kid just totaled his car because
Yeah.
he was driving down the street. This was national news, and it happened in Cincinnati. He was driving down the street, window open, and a cicada just smacked him in the face, caused him to veer off and hit a telephone
Yes.
pole. He's fine. car totaled.
Is the cicada okay?
No, it's dead. Every fucking news story had to be like, well, we had to find out what happened to the cicada.
Its butt went through its face.
Dead.
And then it spread out all over that kid's forehead.
And you know people want to be like, oh my God. Probably these kids can't text in and drive in and cicadas. You can't handle it. And it's like, if that happened to anybody.
Turns out the cicada was texting.
Yeah.
Well, and listeners from the South and Southwest, I might have said this last week. I don't know, and I don't mean you any. I mean you no ill will.
Oh, you're
but
just like there's cicadas to you.
every person from Texas I've talked to in the like they're like, well, this is enough. This is every day in Texas. Every fucking day is this. You guys made it sound like it was going to be biblical swarms of locusts. And it's just this is like a Wednesday in Texas. Every fucking day, winter, spring, summer, fall, doesn't fucking matter. It's just cicada all damn day. This is nothing. I've been to Texas and I didn't see this.
And they're like, you call that chili?
You went to the wrong part of Texas.
I'm just saying.
That's what they're going to tell you.
You got to go to Cicada Junction.
Texas is big. You got to go to Cicada Junction.
That
I'm not
like
trying to hassle my
wonderful torture
Texas
show.
I'm not trying to hassle my Texas friends. This has actually just been like 2 people, but
Texas Friends sounds like a weird barbecue sauce brand.
I would love to make some Texas Friends barbecue sauce.
Like Kashi Goling.
Yeah,
Friends.
it has a couple of middle-aged lesbians on the label.
Well, it's because that's what you make when your Texas friends come in from out of town. That's
Yeah.
how they started their company, but now they're huge corporate.
Yeah, they're like, you don't have
entity.
to go to Texas to find great maple flavored barbecue sauce. Some of it's made right here in Connecticut.
We make it for our Texas friends.
Texas Friends. For when you're inviting Texans into your home and you want to impress them with your homemade barbecue sauce.
They pay for product placement in a shipment carol.
A shipment.
He should have had the Texas Friends, but he had the blob of mustard.
That's right.
His choices were Texas Friend or blob of mustard at the condiment station.
And he could have put either one on that potato, but he went with a blob of. You should never eat something that's referred to as a blob. That was his first mistake.
Right.
Is that how they meet in the shipment carol? They both reach for the last bottle of Texas Friends barbecue sauce.
He's like, you have it. I'll have the blob. Oh, man.
All right.
Oh, but Clea Duvall looks good in this.
She's directed a lesbian Christmas movie last season.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Is that what you're referencing, Freddie?
I love Clea Duvall. She's producing a new show called Housebroken that is the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
It's animated on Fox.
And she's great.
Yeah.
And funny on Veep.
Yep.
So good. Yep, Clea Duvall, y'all. That's what I say.
They say in Texas.
The Clea Duvalls are bigger in Texas. They're like 18 feet tall.
Every single day. not once every 17 years like around here when the Clea Duvalls emerge from their...
The 18-foot Clea Duvalls.
Don't you remember that Clea Duvall flew in that kid's window and killed him?
Yeah.
She didn't mean to, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. She just came in through my window. I was driving very fast.
All right, kids.
All right.
Let's move it along.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Let's stop having fun.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight-to-video Russian roulette.
Hva gjør oss til menneske? I tider som dette.
You're not crazy. This trailer is not in English.
Kjærlighet.
I'll just tell you real quickly, it looks spooky as shit.
Håp.
Jeg tror vi alle kan ha godt av et lite avbrekk fra denne skrekkelige hverdagen.
I won't, you don't know what they're saying probably, so I'm just going to bring her down.
No.
This film's Cadaver.
It looks expensive.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
It looks like a real movie.
It is. It looks great. The performances are great. I'm going to start off. Here's your twist. It is a recommend, even though it is a Netflix horror movie.
What?
It is absolutely a recommend. I liked this movie. It's not perfect, but that's kind of part of what I mean. It's just it is a solid movie. Sometimes I don't need a movie to blow, and there are a couple things that did blow my balls off, but sometimes I want a movie to just be like, that was a solid ass movie, and this fulfills that on the first level. It's Norwegian, so I read this movie, but you might be able to watch it if you don't like to read your movies. I think there is an option for English with subtitles. I don't know how any of that works.
I don't either.
I just read the movie. So, but this takes place, so I'm not going to really spoil it. But it takes place in this unspecified time after there has been a nuclear exchange. And things are fucked up wherever this is happening for sure. And it's like this family of three, a husband, wife, and their daughter, are like scavenging and trying to find shelter in this destroyed town in Norway. It might be Oslo, I don't even know. But so they have to go out, and it's just dangerous. And then their life is just basically trying to survive after this horrible event. And so one day they go out into the town, and there's, people dead all over the streets. And there's a kind of a barker type, like telling them that there's going to be a theater performance at the hotel, which is at the top in this town. There's this beautiful hotel. Everything else looks like shit after the nuclear whatever. Everything
kind of looks like
shit.
The town from Resident Evil Village, that new video game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I'm agreeing with you.
It has like a really nice like castle, but then there's this almost feudal looking village. Everything's falling apart.
It's like, yes, very much like that, except it's a hotel, but it is castle-ish. And so it turns out that this guy says the owner is putting on a performance, and there'll be free food for everyone who comes. And the woman thinks they should do this for the little girl. The husband is very leery and is like, I don't know about that. And she's like, what could happen? And so they get tickets, and then that night they show up. Now, and the owner of the hotel also, I guess, wrote and directed plays. And so this becomes this kind of performance where everyone gets to eat, and then these poor people, and it's like he's rich clearly, and he's got all these actors and expensive stuff. It's like a normal but creepy world in the hotel. And so it's this like interactive play where and they almost didn't let the little girl in, because when the guy is selling tickets outside, he says, no, not for kids. And then the hotel owner comes out and says she can come.
We have one booster seat available.
Exactly. And so they rustle up their old kids menu and bring it out to her, and some crayons.
I was gonna say, just for that little packet they get.
It's a broken red one.
Yeah.
And
what a great subplot would that be, Kelley, if she had to complete like the dot-to-dot puzzle on the menu and then explain what was going on?
Well,
Or she had to take the idiot test with the pegs.
You're an ignoramus.
I love that. So anyway, and they go, and it's this interactive play, and he explained, like, people with masks on are the audience. This is how he says is the only way you can tell them apart. The audience has masks on, and he passes out these creepy masks to everybody, and actors do not. He said, but you don't know what's going to be real and what's not, and it's going to be this crazy thing, and like you might see people fucking. Well, he doesn't say that, but you do, and it's kind of eyes wide shutty. And so then he just lets the group loose off into the castle, and then the story goes from there. Now, one thing I will say, I predicted what was going to happen pretty much immediately. Like I thought, I was like, maybe it won't be this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be this or have an element of this. And I was right. But you don't really know until you know, which is nice. Because for a while I wasn't even, I was like, I think I like this movie, but I'm not going to know till either the very end or almost the very end.
Yeah.
Because depending on how this ends, I might end up hating this. But it looked beautiful. The acting was great. The writing was good. Everything was compelling. So I didn't mind finding out that I was right. And then there was like a double twist. Like, I don't even know if it was a double twist,
Kelley,
but there was like a morality thing. What?
Is it obvious what the...
I think it will be obvious to a lot of horror fans.
Okay. Is it like... Is it like revealing what it is? Is that what the big spoiler?
Well, it will. I mean, if I say what it is,
I don't
it
know.
will.
Okay. I don't know either. Because it just sounds like something I'd really enjoy.
And you will probably guess it. I mean, I'm just saying, but I'm not going to say what it is, just in case.
Can I taste it and tell you what I think it is?
Huh?
I said, can I taste it and tell you what I think it is? Just dip your fingers in it. Put them in my mouth, and I'll tell you what I think it is.
All right, and if you guess, but I'm not going to tell you if you guess right.
Yeah,
I
don't want you to spoil it for me. Because it already tastes a little spoiled.
The end almost has this like The Mist feel to it, which I've come to actually like the ending of The Mist. I still don't like it as well. I still think I would have preferred it to end the way the story ends.
Yeah,
but I've kind of realized you get both. You get the way the story ends, and then they also give you this little extra thing.
And also, it makes a really bleak statement, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what this does.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. This like pushes you to a place where, I guess I am going to spoil the fact that there's not really any kind of happy ending to this.
I could tell by the filters used.
Yeah.
And the lighting that it was just going to be one of those bleak movies.
And it is dark, so I had a glare on my TV. If you watch it, try to watch it with zero glare.
I mean, for all things.
Except from the people you live with.
It's a dark movie, but...
and glare at you for watching a grim movie. This isn't good for you, Marvin.
It is a recommend for sure. Really, it's beautiful. The sets are great. Again, all the acting is really, I think, pretty top notch. You'll have a character who you are annoyed with, and I do feel like they do this to women characters a lot. And I'm not hassling this, but I'm not trying to say this movie, is contributing to that. But it is a little bit. But it's the whole like. It's your fault. We're in this mess. Like, you know what I mean? Where, but it ends up going a different place anyway. So, I think this is a good one. Watch this.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
If you like it, it's serious. It's like a serious movie. Like if you're not into that, like if you're not into something that's going to make you have to think a little bit, you don't really have to think. It's not like super deep, but it is like about something. And there's like a very definite theme, and they definitely want you to think about like the choices that the characters have to make. So if you are like, I just like silly slashers, this not for you. It's slow. Like I said, I thought I was right about where it was going, but it took a long time for me to get the confirmation, which is good. But I definitely, I liked it a lot.
Well, thank you so much.
I'm going to watch this one, I think.
Yeah.
On a dark and
I'll be
stormy
interested
night.
to hear what you think.
I'm going to glare at you the whole time.
You can glare at me.
Oh, I will. All right. Let's see who's going to watch next week. So we got this Jack in the Box. We're going to pass it around. We're going to start with Andy.
It's me.
Yay. Andy, let's see what Andy got. What did Andy get? Andy got a little of this.
Yay.
Uh-oh.
That's me.
Flip a coin.
Crickety, crickety, crick, 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 crick.
All right. boom goes the dynamite.
All right, Freddie. You're going
All
to
right,
watch
Amy.
this one movie that I picked out earlier. Hold on. It's on Shudder. It's called The Boys from County Hell. Or
Okay.
Boys
Oh,
from
this
County
looks
Hell.
fun.
I've heard good things about this.
Yeah, me
Cool.
too.
A crew of hardy road workers, led by a bickering father and son, must survive the night when they accidentally awaken an ancient Irish vampire. Boys from County Hell.
The Boys from County Hell. Okay, I got it on my to-do list.
Do you?
It's right under wash feet. Yeah, we'll be right back with our main attraction.
Can't wait for all
Yay.
Freddy's, can't wait for the accents I record to you next week.
What is the secret Dwayne is hiding in the basket?
What's in the basket? Easter eggs?
What's in the basket?
Clothes.
What's in the basket?
What's in the basket?
My brother.
What's in the basket?
Open it, if you dare. Basket case. Opening at our theater for you.
I feel-
An analysis film presentation.
I feel like the last guy who opened the basket wasn't even in the movie, in the trailer.
No, he was the guy
It's in the movie theater, right?
stolen from the movie theater.
Yeah.
Right into
Oh,
the bathroom.
yeah, that's right. Good point. Basket case, one of my favorites from childhood. So happy we did this.
I wish this would have been one of my favorites. Somehow I missed this on Basement Tapes on Channel 64.
Yeah.
Where I'm sure it showed more than once. And so this is also, though, kind of a fun, like, I got to discover it now.
Yeah. It's like
very much like a John Waters movie. Like if John Waters did like a horror movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like the acting style is very John Watery.
The writing,
very
all
watery.
of it.
If you like this, you probably would like Frank Henenlotter's other movies. He's got like a style. It is consistent. It's not like he just stumbled into doing this. Like everything you watch that he did, you're like, oh, that's his movie.
What a it's charming. There is something.
Sounds like Kelly's in a giant air dryer, like at a car wash.
I turned my air conditioning back on.
Oh, it's okay.
No, I'll turn it back off.
You don't have to be hot.
Oh, it's okay. I just cooled down a little bit.
All right.
It's
It's
like-
right next to me.
It's got a very innocent griminess to it.
It's so grimy, though.
Yeah. There's
But
that.
you're right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like there's a purity to what they're trying to do.
They knew what they were making.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they did. I read the trivia on this.
That's why
They,
I don't think it's camp because
Oh, you have to be unaware.
yeah, I think they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, well, it's definitely. I mean, there was definitely meant comedically as well, but also meant, I think, to be super unsettling and scary.
It actually, to me, just take an analytical part of my brain out because I got to see this before that was something I did.
Yeah.
This was totally a 100% scary horror movie to me as a kid. I was terrified of Bill Owl.
I get it.
His like eyes in particular really bothered me a lot. And when the brother visits the doctor and shows him the scar where he was removed, like to me, when I was a kid, that was much worse. Like that scar in particular really, really, really bothered me. And now I can see it's just a messy, fact, but still.
It's deeply like that's part of the charm for me in this movie because it's charming in that like this is one of those early 80s with the creepy synths and just it's so weird but there's also an actual plot. This is sort of like Mountaintop Motel Massacre for me. Like it's so weird but there is a story happening and like it's goofy, but it is scary. Like the twin, even the weird animation and like the
like the stop motion stuff.
Oh, so weird.
It makes it more unsettling. Yeah.
Just the screaming.
Yeah.
I was telling Freddie that it reminded me of the Barbarian twin from the last week.
Except the mixing was way less accomplished in this film. Like there was a lot of top of the mic screaming. Everything was hot.
Bilal's screaming is also, they let it go on uncomfortably long in a lot of the sequences, which make it goes, this movie does this weird thing where it goes from being funny to being really, really scary and then funny. Like I think we watched it with Joe Bob's wraparound, which I recommend because he had a lot to do with the movie finding an audience to begin with. So he knows a lot of the details of the way it was made and the backstory, but he nails it when he talks about like that. There's a weird, like almost like a wavelength type of thing that happens where it has these peaks and valleys of you're laughing and then you're really unsettled. And it's a lot like a Tim and Eric. I think Tim and Eric owe a lot to Frank Henenlotter.
Yeah.
Especially their horror show they did.
Well, I think it's super scary to me because that hotel and those people seem so real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's what I said. I was like, everything is real in this. This is just like this is happening where it's happening.
Like they nailed the griminess because I think it was a grimy place they filmed in, and the characters are just so authentic. Like you felt that they lived in that gross hotel.
Oh, I never told you. I don't think I've ever told you this, but like I was a kid, I had this version of New York in my head that was like a cinematic universe, right? Of this 42nd Street era New York, where everything is like that pea green, and like I just thought that like Judd Hirsch's character from Taxi lived in this building or something, you know, like it felt like like they all existed in the same space, like Hill Street Blues and all that, like. And there were different levels of weirdness depending on what part of this fantasy version of New York you were in, and Basket Case was the worst of it.
Well, it opens with the what's the guy's name? The twin, Daryl,
Dwayne.
He's walking on the street and he gets approached by that drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like in my mind, that wasn't in the movie. It wasn't scripted.
It just happened.
Yeah,
like
smoke.
Yeah, he was actually approached by a drug dealer, and they just kept it in the movie.
I like that guy offered him weed and THC.
He had
and a lot of everything else.
My God,
and
like, where do you keep that?
Ladies.
Yeah, that was actually a performance, I think, because Joe Bob was talking about how the dialogue was really difficult because he has had so much to say.
Yeah. But I just feel like it's a very like real encounter that they could have. That could have happened.
Yeah.
All those moments when he's walking down 42nd Street feel so real. And I was telling Amy, I was like, this feels like a time machine.
Yes.
These movies, this and Maniac. I'm not a huge fan of Maniac, but like I do appreciate the way that they filmed that street on the streets. Then it's a time capsule, and in that it's like priceless because of that.
It felt dangerous,
and it felt dangerous. Yeah,
it did feel dangerous, and like just him walking down the street with the basket amongst those people. That alone. Even if there was nothing, he had such a kind of serial killer vibe to him. It was like any movie about some unknown killer, you know, murdering prostitutes in the 70s. It could have been that. It was just, it had a real vibe. It
kind of has that in common with like Psycho, with Norman Bates kind of character, where he's this a mild-mannered character that is really incredibly dangerous. You know, he seems so harmless and sweet.
But I like the when they get. I think the hotel was probably my favorite part of the movie. That's the cast of characters.
Like they created a whole.
It was like a little family there.
Bunch of personalities. It was for you to see.
The guy at the counter. It was like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
He was exactly Carl. Did you seen Delicatessen?
Years ago.
No.
Delicatessen reminds me a lot of this movie. Just the setting, because it's set in a very similar kind of apartment complex. But if you like this, see Delicatessen's awesome.
It just reminded me of that. What's that hotel that lady was found in the
Hotel Cecil?
The Hotel Cecil. Yeah, it gave me that.
Hotel.
It gave me that vibe.
Yeah,
where like you had these like vagrants living there for like $10 a night, and they just let anything go.
And then you have Casey, the neighbor, who. Well, first I gotta say the lady who meets Dwayne and shows him around has one of the
crazy lady.
Yeah, and she has one of the funniest performances because she tells him all this stuff that's exposition on the way up the stairs, and the minute she's done with it, she turns around and leaves.
Yep.
And it's so weird.
Like it was intentional. She's like
Basil Exposition.
Yeah, I'm gonna info dump to you, but my character is crazy.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to just, when I'm done saying this sentence, turn around and walk away, and the camera just follows her.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious.
It was real awkward. And again, I don't know if it was intentional necessarily, but it works because it's so weird.
It feels intentional.
Like this movie, again, this is stuff Amy and I watched this together, so these thoughts came to me while we were watching it. Like, those weird bits just made, for me when I was a kid, not knowing that was supposed to be funny, made it feel more like a nightmare, because I couldn't anchor myself to anything that felt like real reality, and couldn't like escape this nightmarish world.
It's almost Lynchian.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
certain
it
ways.
definitely is.
Like the characters are just, they're normal people, but they're just a little off.
Yeah.
In a grounded way.
Yeah. Casey's great though. She's kind of the hero of the movie in a lot of ways, I'd say. Like,
yeah,
she tries to be nice to Dwayne, and
like she's kind of like the hooker with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
I love that stereotype.
Yeah.
That scene actually where he tells her about the bad, that again, real unsettling, as she like, they're having a good time, and just like I put myself in her place, kind of like, she's this hooker, she's hanging out with this kid, she's trying to be nice to him, maybe I'm gonna throw him a little something, I don't know, and she's just trying to get him to come out of his shell, and he's drunk, and he tells her this like really grotesque story, and like
she's the first one he tells the truth to when they ask about what's in the basket.
It actually reminds me of a lot of some interactions I've had at Horror Hound Weekend.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
where some people share too much, and you're really unsettled by some of these people there.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, if you want to have an unsettling conversation, just talk to strangers at Horror Hound.
Yeah. Especially at the
one-on-one.
Especially at the after party.
Once their inhibitions are down. Some of them are.
Yes, this insane scene where drunk Dwayne is just like downloading it all, and you get the flashbacks and everything. That was like alternately like fucking.
I felt for
weird,
him,
but and touching.
Like,
They should have killed the brother.
Well, I didn't hate anybody in this movie. Like you think there was like a villain, but I understand Bilal. But how do you say his name?
Bilal.
I understand his motivations, even though he did awful things.
They should have killed him.
Amy and I had this kind of argument.
I don't care what you think of me. I'm saying specifically in this movie,
character. I get it. Like, I know, like, he's not even.
There's no life to be had here.
Behind what he was doing. Like,
baby.
Well, Bilal kills his mom on the way out in childbirth, and then the father is dead set on cut it off of him. But there's the aunt, or is she an aunt? But she's just this nice aunt lady who seems to be the only one with any compassion for Bilal at all.
She should have killed him when she knew she was dying. Where was he gonna go? I'm terrible.
No, I get it. That's what they're asking you to think.
I know.
That's what elevates this movie, because it should be shitty. This movie should be ridiculous.
But he wasn't murderous when he was attached to.
It's a genuinely good movie.
Yeah, but he wasn't murderous when he was attached to Dwayne, was he?
They were 12.
Yeah.
Who knows what would have happened? Dwayne was never going to have a life with him on there, and he was not capable of higher thought in life.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus H.
So, Dr. Cutter and Dr. Needleman
and Dr. Cutter,
they're veterinarians, which I love. They reveal that later on, because the whole
the first guy is a real doctor. She's a veterinarian.
Well, she's a veterinarian, but I thought later on in the
they're
movie
both sketchy.
I think
they had to find shady doctors to do this,
and they even said like something about a couple of veterinarians later in the movie. So I think they were both vets.
No, they're not. I know that for a fact.
Agree to disagree. Yeah.
Because the lady in the wig, the blonde lady that wants to be his girlfriend, she works for him, and he's seeing human patients. What the hell, Freddy?
I still think he's a veterinarian.
So much.
That doctor was gross too.
Yeah, he was sweaty.
I love the love interest is introduced because Dwayne, as part of their plan for revenge, goes to Dr. Needleman's office. In the beginning of the movie, we should say the cold open is Dr. Lifflander gets all.
They're getting revenge on the people who separated them, but really it's Bilal's idea. It's not Dwayne's idea. Dwayne doesn't want to go through with all this. Dwayne wants to kiss and hug on his lady friend.
It's very much Psycho, where Bilal is Mrs. Bates, and Dwayne is Norman Bates, and it's like
except Belial is a real thing.
It is. Exactly. It's instead of it being a split personality, it's literally two beings.
It's a whole split being.
That was split. Yeah. So he meets what was her name?
She wears a wig.
Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon. She had shaved all her hair off. I thought that was an interesting story, and that's why she had to wear a wig. Like, she showed up.
Oh, I didn't even notice it was a wig.
Yeah.
It's a bad wig.
Okay.
Pulled so far down. She had like barely a two head.
She was like a punk rock.
Forehead.
She's in a punk rock band, I guess, and she cut all of her hair off. But she had been cast when she had the hair and showed up bald. So they put that wig on her, which again adds to that David Lynch vibe. It's just another layer of surrealism in those scenes where you're just like, again, one little thing is off. This game could be one of those touch screen. This movie could be one of those touch screen games with you touch it and you're like, she's bald over here. Put a wig on in this one.
I loved how forward she was, just hitting on him and just giving him her number and everything.
Feminism.
Yeah. She seemed mad a lot. It was funny, like the weird. Yeah, didn't you think so? Like she was like angry because he didn't go to any of the tourist sites.
No, I thought she was just very enthusiastic.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was John Waters. I thought she was the most John Waters for me of the cast. Every reaction she had was like at the top.
I loved her. I
did too. Yeah. It was an amazing performance.
She gets raped to death later or something.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't actually rape her. He can't. That's what. I had to look this up a little bit.
Okay.
So what did he do to her? Because
he wants to. He's trying to and can't.
It tears her guts out.
It was bloody down there. Like, what did he do?
Scratched at it.
He must have just scratched at it.
Tore it up.
Did he just grind on it until she died?
Maybe he grinded too much. Was he wearing jeans? Could you imagine?
But that was the intent, just so you understand. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a very disturbing scene.
Yeah, he tries, like, Belial tries to rape Casey. Tries to rape. Like, he is not something that just Dwayne should be in charge of.
He stole Casey's underwear.
Yeah.
And I like how the underwear is a little stained, too.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Andy, you're so gross.
No, it just adds a level. It grounds the movie.
It's the grime.
Yeah.
You know what really grounds the grime for me is the number of hairs that make it onto the lens. Just from you notice that, like, when you're watching this, there's
the hairs are like fibers.
Well, they're definitely human hair, and one of them looked like a fucking pubic hair. It's so curly.
It probably flew off of Dwayne when he was running.
Yeah.
Well, the camera crew probably has made a porno or two
with those cameras.
Or those cameras have made a porno or two, and that's why they were able to afford them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the scene where Dwayne is running naked, because it's used as a stand-in for the telepathic link between the brothers.
Yeah.
And Dwayne is having the stream where he's running naked down the streets of New York, when in fact it's really Belial,
Again, I think that was a very everyday thing happening in New York in 1982.
I don't disagree.
I told Amy the bravest thing I've ever seen was a naked man running shoeless through New York City in the 80s.
And I said, we argued about this because I was like, are you kidding me? Before not before when they had no indoor plumbing. No, it's the 80s.
I feel
There's
like
concrete, please. There was hot and cold running down the streets.
Yeah, that's true. But he wouldn't even be able to run. He'd have been up to his knees. He would just be like,
you're a dummy.
This way he gets the velocity right when he hits the HIV needle, like head on. Bam! Right through his foot.
Frank Henenlotter gives us the full frontal male nudity.
Yeah.
Which is just, that means he understands that if I'm going to show some titty, I'm going to give some equality here.
And he is remarkably, for this kind of movie, he is remarkably, not gratuitous with the titty.
Restrained.
Well,
thank you. Restrained is the word I was looking for.
And there are only moments that serve the story too.
Exactly.
Which is like that is the kind of restraint. That's why it makes it like this is legit, because that's part of why Belial's all worked up and crazy, and it's about a lot of it's about sexual stuff and the things that Belial is incapable of doing.
For a movie for a type of movie like this, you think they could have done that stuff and be super gratuitous, but they didn't.
Yeah.
It makes those moments work
Yeah.
so much better in the movie when it's all said and done, because you're not numb to it by the time the really ugly stuff happens. You're like, oh, this is an ugly moment. It's not. It's that dip in that wavelength where you're like, oh, we're back in horror. I'm waiting for this to get funny again. And it does.
Well, I mean, it ends with, Dwayne finds Bilal has killed his lady friend, and like they fight and they end up out of hanging from the sign of the hotel, and Bilal's got Dwayne by the neck and kills him, and then his fingers slip and they both go splat. Now, how is there a sequel?
Well, we'll watch it and
I don't
find
know.
out.
Can they recapture the magic?
I was thinking I would love to see a sitcom just based at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And you could have like Dwayne and Bilal living there, and it could be like bosom buddies or something.
Yeah. I can't believe it didn't happen.
It wouldn't be too sad?
No, you tone it down a little bit.
Okay.
It'd be like the Cool Kids.
Friday nights on CBS in
like
1982. It's just like, one of those shows.
It's like that Tim and Eric, that Beef Hotel.
Like Beef House.
Beef House, that's it.
Yeah, it's like Beef House. Instead of Tim, you have Bilal.
Okay. I don't know that it would be something I would want to invite into my home every week.
Every week.
Every week I would. Can you imagine they'd adorable up the puppet for the show, though?
You'd have
You know how
to.
they did Slimer for the real Ghostbusters was made real cute.
You could have Slimer guest spot on an episode.
You could.
He could haunt the building, and things will get blamed on Bilal that Slimer did. Like
You could
someone
have
ate all the
different
hot
rubbery
dogs.
famous puppets of the week show up like as guest stars. You could have a Yoda be like a real big Sweeps Week guest. You could have like
It is a hotel. You have it built in there. They can come and check in for any reason.
The spit and image disgusting puppets show up.
Yeah.
So, like, think of Bilal, who was like very clearly a bunch of rubber. 1982, and they had to use stop motion to like show it moving.
Yeah, when he trashed the hotel room.
Right. And then today, The Mandalorian, you got Baby Yoda just out there moving his little ears, and that's like a puppet. It's so much more. It's crazy.
That's Jim Henson, baby. I
crazy.
mean, Jim Henson did not make Bilal.
He did not.
Bilal is probably real. I mean, let's be real with each other. It's like a Eraserhead's baby situation, probably, where
there was something again. You like what you said, like the eyes and the teeth for me. Like it was obviously not real, but there was something a little too real about it.
Well, I think combined with those grunts,
and the screaming,
Screaming, so much screaming.
But just like the sound of it, it was like it sounded human and inhuman at the same time.
Yeah, miserable.
It's a very screamy movie overall.
They needed to put it out of its
sound
misery.
mixing, man.
There's so much screaming from everybody.
Oh, the veterinarian lady. I'm like, shut up. She sounded like a wailing cat.
and Casey, when Bilal went to her room,
Yeah.
she screamed for 5 minutes. And
Do you love the way they set up that character, the Dr. Cutter, where she's having dinner with this much younger man who looks like kind of like a gigolo scenario?
That was such a John Waters scene, like of her trying to seduce that younger guy.
Giving him all that wine.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want any more wine. She goes, yes, you do. You're going to drink more wine. And then I just love her. She's kind of doing like almost like a Sigourney Weaver impersonation.
She looked like her.
Yeah, but she also she kind of like, I felt like she was matching that cadence through a lot of the movie, only she didn't quite have it right. It was just slightly off like everything else, but in the way the movie demands it to be, where she had pauses in the wrong places and just strange stuff. And she's presented as a super wealthy, successful doctor, and the buildup is what you're getting, right? Every time you see her, it's kind of like this New York success story. And then when they reveal she's just this veterinarian, they show her actual office, this little cramped space, and Bilal's there getting his revenge. And they double down on the villainy of her take on everything, where she's like, I'm glad I cut you apart.
That's right.
Like it's so funny how they throw nuance to the wind at that point, and they're just like, yeah, she's a evil veterinarian that hates Bilals. She wants to eliminate all Bilals.
Well, with a name like that, you know, he had strikes against you already.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Well, I guess the dad who hated him would have named him, right? Because like he's like, they're like, well, you got to name the other one. He's like, Wart. And they're like, you can't name it Wart.
Well, I'll name it after a demon then.
Blah.
Their dad had a really long neck.
Remember he was doing a shirtless walkthrough?
He was weirdly cut. Like, it was like a weird, I was like.
I told Amy the same thing.
Yes.
Like, what is happening? It's so, like, why is the dad weirdly sexy? Like,
Well,
it's like,
at one angle, he looked like he was like really, you know, working out and everything. And there'd be another angle where his chest was concave and he looked like he had a beer gut. And then the light would hit him a different way. And all of a sudden he had a six pack.
Totally. I totally know exactly what you mean. Yeah, he had the boat back for one moment.
Yeah.
While he was walking down the stairs.
It's like they filmed it at different stages of his life. What they did was they brought him in and had to do reshoots 10 years later or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he's like, oh, my body has changed a little around the middle. They're like, it's okay. It's shirtless. They're like, but won't that make it more obvious? And they're like, nah, it's fine.
Not in this movie.
The belt's the same. Continuity will keep. People are looking at the belt.
Seriously.
Which was also strange. Just there was something strange about that guy's slack, shoe, belt, no shirt combination.
Well, he felt like he felt like a real person.
Yeah.
The same thing, like every time people screamed in the hotel and people would congregate and everybody's in their underwear.
Yeah.
He reminded me of Napoleon Dynamite's brother.
Yeah. Kit,
yeah.
I'm glad we
Kip.
figured that out.
Yeah, Kip, right?
Yeah.
And he got cut in half with a saw. Not Kip. I think Kip's okay.
Dad did.
Did
people got ripped in half.
Did Bilal do that? That trap?
Did Bilal do that?
Yeah.
Well, there's our sitcom right there.
Joe Bob makes a really good point when we were watching it. He's like, I don't understand how this twin is able to, being the size and shape that he is, to get so much strength.
It's all
to do these things.
All upper body strength.
Well,
he had to compensate.
Did he have some sort of supernatural powers
What
too?
was with the glowing eyes?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I think that's part of his telepathy.
Oh.
It was to let you know he was like, I'm talking.
I didn't realize.
I think. I don't know.
It just felt like it almost he had like mind control powers over Dwayne or something.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the dominant personality. Definitely. And I think Dwayne, you could get deep on this too and be like, maybe Dwayne just felt guilty about having the ability to do all these things and he just felt so bad about it he was willing to do anything.
Well, of course
he
that
definitely
was true.
did, and he loved him too.
Yeah. It's very sad.
It is.
When he brings him
the
the
scenes
TV.
of the aunt reading to him is actually really sad. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Well, I thought younger Bilal was real cute actually.
Yeah.
I did never think that, but I did think it was real sweet.
He was kind of like just so derpy looking, like, oh, look at him.
He was like Rachel Green's cat.
I want Marciano to point out, like, remember the beginning, he's tossing these burgers in the basket, and he's eating it. Remember me of Slimer, but at one point he just tossed the foil wrapped burgers.
Yeah.
It's like, did he eat the foil?
Like, why didn't you just unwrap these 4 burgers? But now you're just dumping a whole bunch of foil wrap burgers in there, and I'm like, is he gonna eat the foil? You can't
Do you
eat
think
the foil.
Bilal becomes so frenzied once he has a little bit of food that Dwayne has learned he has to keep feeding him as quickly as possible or he'll be attacked? Like a rabid dog kind of thing?
I mean, probably.
I mean, I wonder if that's like the thought process that went into directing the scene. Like, okay, once Bilal gets a taste, you got to keep feeding him and make sure he's satisfied as quickly as possible. So maybe he gets 1 burger with no foil. Tops.
It was probably can we wrap this up, man? I got to get to my other job. Just dump it in there.
We do good tips on Fridays, and I don't want to be here.
Done 12 takes now.
Well, if Bilal eats, does he also shit?
Well, yeah, he's on the toilet in that one scene, remember? He's always in the toilet.
Yeah.
No, he is shit. He is shit then, I guess.
Shit. But when he was attached to
Andy, you can't.
I
don't know.
Well, I mean, if I would imagine that then a conjoined twin situation, they would have shared, like, he probably would have had something that led to the other digestive system, and so they would have probably disconnected that and created some kind of outflow.
Oh my God, he
for
had to
him.
shit his brother's shit.
They were shit minglers.
My name's Shit Mangler.
Like, his brother would eat something, but if you're saying it would go into his body and get shit out of him, this is very weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with conjoined twins. It's a terrifying prospect, right?
Shit.
What? Because there's times
Yeah,
where
they
like
can't always do it.
That's why they can't separate them sometimes.
You gotta shit somebody else's shit.
Yeah. It's just blowing Amy's mind.
They share organs and stuff, and there's not always a way to.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just never thought of the concept, but I mean, like, I'm always freaked out when like pregnant ladies are like, "My baby's shitting and pissing at me right now," and I'm like, this is that kind of feeling I'm having.
Yeah. Well, you got all kinds of little organisms living on your skin right now and shitting all over you.
In your eyeballs too, Amy.
But that shit's good for you.
That's some good shit.
That's the good shit.
It's a good shit right there.
It's the good shit. Maggot puke.
All right. Basket case.
I want to point out they had this somewhat offensive Asian joke, but I laughed and laughed and laughed at it.
What was it?
The Siamese joke.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
You don't look Oriental.
Yeah.
Well, back then that was not considered.
And it wasn't like
still evolving.
It was
it
was just funny to me. Just like that was one that during the drunken conversation.
We laughed. It was one of those situations where we laughed and we're like, ooh.
I can't do that anymore. That's one of my favorite things to do when I'm watching older television movies.
We're like, you can't do that anymore.
Can't do that anymore.
Can't do that anymore. Shouldn't do that anymore.
Yes.
But Andy, I get you. Like, and then I had to stop and really think about when it happened in the moment. I was like, what was the context back then? Like,
but I thought it was a kind of a witty joke.
It was a witty joke. It was a good joke at its core. It was just the offensive word more than anything. Also, Siamese, I don't even remember now. You don't even use Siamese twins anymore either. That's also considered offensive. So, conjoined.
So, do we have a movie for next week?
Oh, shit. We do, I think.
Bill.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, Bill won our mailing list raffle. So if you want to join the mailing list and be part of this, we pick somebody randomly once a month for each theme to pick the final main attraction. You go to notlp.com, scroll down till you see Dracula, sign up there. This week's winner is Bill Chandler. He's from Texas.
They have all the locusts there.
They have all the locusts. They have barbecue and chili that's unlike anything you've ever had.
I think Bill is actually a locust.
Bill is a locust.
I do hope that my Texas and Southern friends, though, it's the people that live here that are from there, or who they're not even from there. They've spent some time there. They lived there for a little while. It's not you guys.
All right. So Bill gave me 4 choices. He gave alternates because the first one he says is kind of dark and heavy, and he knows how we're trying to avoid that kind of thing right now. But it's called Goodnight Mommy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a newer one, isn't it?
2014.
Yeah.
Is that something anybody wants to watch, or should we go on to one of the alternates?
What are the other choices? Since we've been given choices, let's explore our options.
Sisters, Brian De Palma.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Dead Ringers, which we talked about.
Yeah.
And Seconds Apart.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
I don't either.
I mean, Dead Ringers is kind of heavy too.
I would say Sisters is the most fun of those choices, unless whatever Seconds Apart is. I've never heard of that movie, which is intriguing.
Have either.
But I would like.
But he's got Sisters higher up.
Sisters is damn good.
Let's put Sisters in.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, we're going to do Sisters.
Sisters. I think we may have covered Goodnight Mommy in some capacity in the past.
I thought that did happen.
Yeah.
You can't really search our site right now, so.
Yeah, it's a heavy duty one for sure.
All right, we're going to do Sisters, 1972. De Palma. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Bill.
Have you seen this one, Freddie?
A long time ago. I really love Brian De Palma movies. Personally.
This has got Lois Lane in it, right?
Margaret Kidder.
Yeah.
Charles Durning.
She's hilarious.
Andy. All right, at the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs. Again, if you want to support the show with your money, patreon.com/NOTLP.
You guys could have been Bilals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Almost. You were so close.
We've got Alise.
You saw her.
My love.
In the magic box.
Amanda.
Hi.
Ernest.
Hey.
Mark.
What up?
Tree and Alex.
And Tree and Alex, you'll notice that, I don't know if you got it yet or not, but apparently the loyalty campaign did kick in for some people who switched where your merchandise, I think you'll get all of it through the quarter. Every 3 months they send you something.
Well, that's exciting for them.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
excited.
I'm
I
glad.
guess
I'm
it is.
glad. No, I'm glad they're getting their stuff.
Yeah.
You'll get what's coming to you.
We've got Bill F.,
Yay.
Blake,
Hi.
Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora,
Aw.
Jeffel, Iona, Goodwin,
I got the
And-
best one, and I own it.
Branan and Emily,
Hey.
Adam, Billy C., who gave us our pick for next week,
Yeah, boy.
Blayne.
He's also covered in locusts too.
Yes.
Blayne.
Sup?
Texas, yeah, this is what happens to you, and it's a shame. Monica,
Howdy.
Alyssa,
Mm-hmm.
Brian,
Yeah.
Dave.
I don't know why I'm doing this, but hi.
You're just doing it, man. Carla. Why am I yelling? And Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
Should I reintroduce bologna into my diet?
No, but we haven't been teasing the Topicanas for a while
We
Yeah,
forget.
let's tease it.
because we forget about it.
Yeah.
Gosh, I have so many ideas. You know what? I'm going to go with this one. This is one I sort of workshop when I was talking with my mother the other day.
Oh, nice.
And the question,
Please explain.
Somehow Kelley made it gross.
No, I didn't mean it gross. I just
oh,
the way you
yeah.
workshot,
Just the way you said
it
it's like,
wasn't
oh,
just a last
nice.
minute-
Oh, mommy questions.
what unconventional business would you apply a theme to? So what we were talking about was like a tiki gynecologist office.
Ah.
So like, because I was talking about how much I love themes. I love theme restaurants. I just
Yeah.
think that's such a good time. Themed bars.
That's the Clown Hut strip bar.
So Jumbo Clown Room.
Jumbo Clown Room. That's it.
Or what was the place on SNL that was it was an ER but also a rib restaurant?
Or something like
Yeah.
that. So think about a theme you would love and enjoy in a restaurant, a bar, and what if you would apply that to
What a
the
fun,
gynecologist?
What a fun question.
This is going to be
That is a fun
interesting.
question.
Very out the box.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, tune in for that. Patreon.com/NOTLP.
Yes.
All right, and we will see you on that.
Yep.
All right. Adios, amigos.
Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London